What's going on, guys? This is Joe, and I am back with opening more Ravnica Allegiance pre-release kits. We did all 5 of these in one video previously, not these exact 5, obviously, but we did all 5 guilds in one video, and now we are back to doing individuals in individual videos and then making a deck out of what we open, just giving a general idea of what we might do in this sealed environment. So we've already done Azorius, and last time we did Gruul, which if you missed that video, whoo boy did you miss one. So I would go back and watch that. I highly recommend it. But as we are continuing along, going in alphabetical order as we've been, because I had no other idea of how to do it, we are moving on to Orzhov. So we have Kaya on the front here. Let's see what we can get inside. I started it already a bit on the bottom here. We can look at the D20, we can look at the insert, the promo, and then what we get inside of these packs. So first the D20, if you guys have not seen it yet. It's weird. I mean, it's black and white, sure, but it's got blue in it for some weird reason. And ironically, it looks like this die took the blue from the Simic die. So if you've seen a Simic kit opened, or stay tuned for our Simic video when it comes out, because, yeah. Also, we're going to be giving away a code in this video. It will be at a random point in between. I don't know. I even don't know when I'm going to do it, but I will do it at some point. So let's move that off to the side. So here is the Orzhov treasure token. Let's zoom in so you guys can see what we're working with here. Okay, so move that a little bit. So here's the Orzhov treasure token. On the back of this is a code for a free draft on MTG Arena. Like I said, at a random point in the video, I'll be giving that away. Here is the insert, and here are the packs. But as I said, oh, and there's this little like rules insert slash flavor thing. So here are the packs, as I said. But more importantly, here is our promo foil mythic in Seraph of the Scales. Gorgeous foiling pattern, my God. And a sweet card. Let's not pretend I'm not happy about the value of opening this thing. And I am going to open it because, I mean, hey, there are other cards in this pack, and we got to talk about building a deck. But hey, I mean, this is a very good reason to go Orzhov if I needed one, which I probably didn't in the Orzhov kit. But so here we go. With this, that's very nice. With the foil Seraph of the Scales. What a great card. You can see that foiling pattern there. So behind the Seraph, we have an Orzhov Locket. Fine, to help us cast our spells. We have the Guild Mage, the Syndicate Guild Mage, in fact. The Resolute Watchdog, which, to be fair, could go in any deck with White Knit, but we have it in our seeded pack for Orzhov. And Orzhov Racketeers, a Watchful Giant. I'm not a huge fan of this card, to be honest. I think the Racketeers was fine, but I'm not a huge fan of this card. A little expensive. This card I love, though. Imperious Oligarch. I would love some more of these. It's a common, so it's not difficult to get more, hopefully. We have a Justicier's Portal. I was going to say very nice. It's an interesting card. You need like enter the battlefield effects or things like that to make this worth it. Hopefully we get some. We'll keep our eyes open. Undercity's Embrace. I was not very high on this card at first, but it works relatively well. I got by this, if you will, multiple times during pre-release. And it's nice to have, even because you feel like, oh, they're going to have a million creatures and they're just going to sack their weakest one, or they'll have afterlife creatures and they'll just sack a 1/1 flyer. But that's still fine, and you can do this during like it's an instant. So do it during combat or something. Do it at the end of their turn. Make them make tough decisions. Don't discount that. So I have come around on this card. Final Payment, a fine card as well. Good piece of removal. It's 2 mana, which is nice, and it's an instant, which is nice, but either sacking a creature or paying 5 life or whatever is a cost. Although if you have a creature with afterlife, because this is Orzhov, like that's what you ideally want to do with this. Just hope that you get there. We have a Grotesque Demise, also a fine card. Again, it's an instant. You're going to have something early to get with this, unless your opponent is only playing big creatures, and then you're probably doing okay even if this is a dead card in your hand. Prowling Caracal, just a 3/1. Again, just like the Watchful Giant, could go in any white deck, and you might not even play it in this one, to be honest. Undercity Scavenger I love, though. I mean, talk about wanting to sacrifice creatures, afterlife creatures, like, sacrifice anything that you can to this guy. This guy gets really out of hand very quickly as a 5/5. And then you have Syndicate Messenger, which is a great card. Flyers are a big thing in Orzhov as well, not just because of the afterlife tokens, but cards like this, where you can play white flyers in your deck, and this does have afterlife. And in Orzhov, Guildgate helps you cast your spells, 2-color deck, all that good stuff. So, as I mentioned, we have the packs. Let's start with the Planeswalker from our guild here in Kaya. And we start with the card that I said I wasn't super high on, in the Prowling Caracal. Maybe we play it, maybe we don't. Humongulous. Not quite for us, unless we splash into Azorius, and this would be a fine splash. Yeah, but I'm not so sure. We shall see. Storm Strike as well. If we go into Rakdos, those are kind of our two options, are Rakdos or Azorius if we want to splash. This is the Civic Stalwart. This seems fine. Give all of your creatures +1/+1 until end of turn. If you want to attack in with a bunch of 1/1 flyers, if you have a bunch of afterlife tokens left over, that would be nice. Mammoth Spider, not for us, and probably a bad card against us. Bad for us if we face it. Noxious Grudian is fantastic. I would play any number of these that I open. Act of Treason, again, the card's okay. We've seen it like a million times at this point. Imperious Oligarch, I told you I'd play any number of these. That still holds true. Watchful Giant, still not a fan. Burning Tree Vandal, fine card. Obviously, you know, it wants you to be Gruul when you're playing it, but you could put it in if we're splashing red. It's not really an amazing splash target. Speaking of Gruul, we have the Bulrak Clan Crusher as our first uncommon. Not for us, but a fine card. Light Up the Stage. This is a Rakdos card, so if we're splashing into Rakdos and we wanted to play this, we could. I don't know that it's that good for us, no matter what, but it's an option. And a Drill Bit. I like this quite a bit. I think it's cool. And yeah, I mean, if you can get it for its spectacle cost on like turn 2 or something, get a low drop down, you can kind of get something big out of your opponent's hand. And it's a black uncommon, so it's in our colors. And our rare or mythic is an Incubation Druid. I like this card, not for an Orzhov deck, but I like this card. Behind Incubation Druid, a Gruul Guildgate. So if we do splash into... Oh, no, this would not help us at all. Regardless. And then a Zombie Token. Very nice. All right. Speaking of Gruul, we saw a little bit too much of it, in my estimation. Obviously, I'm somewhat being facetious and somewhat not. Like, we're going to see a bunch... There are 5 different guilds for a reason, and we're going to see a bunch of that. So, yeah, Gruul is the 2 of the colors that we're not in. But anyway, here is an Arrester's Zeal. A Shimmer of Possibility. Arrester's Zeal, definitely a possibility. Shimmer of Possibility, not quite so much. Feral Maca. It's a 2/2 for 2. If I'm not playing 3 1s for 2, I don't know that I'm playing 2 2s for 2. And it's not really a good splash. Gift of Strength, not for us. Thirsting Shade, I'm not very high on this card either. Like, it's 1 mana to play it, sure, and it has lifelink, great. But 3 mana to give it +1/+1 until end of turn? This could be a 23rd if we need to put it in there. Deface, bad card even if it was in our colors. Skitter Eel, sure, if we went into Azorius, sure. It's not a bad card in general. Wrecking Beast with double green is definitely not for us, let alone single green. And Scuttlegator with double colors of nothing that we're in. Applied Biomancy, this pack is not helping us out very much. This is a great card. Don't get me wrong. Oh, okay, that's better. First uncommon is Archway Angel. Now, this cares about gates a bit, but it is still a 3/4 flyer for 6, and it is a lot better than those Watchful Giants, I feel like, that we opened. So, I would still play this even if we played no gates, or if we played like 1 or 2. You might get like 2 life off of this thing coming in. 6 mana, 3/4. Flying is a little expensive, but it's a 3/4 flyer. We have a Dagger Caster. Fine card if we're splashing. If we're not, it's not for us. And a Dovin's Acuity. Once again, if we're splashing, this is interesting because of what it wants you to be doing. I feel like there would be a lot that we'd have to do to make this work. We couldn't just, oh, we're splashing white, we just put in Dovin's Acuity. Like, we would need to do some stuff, but it is at least a possibility. It's an option for us. And our rare or mythic is a wow, a Hydroid Krasis. Again, not in colors that we're playing, which is super unfortunate, but this card is fantastic. We may have to look at what we have, because we have the Seraph of the Scales as well, and that's like a big thing that'll pull us into those colors, but we did just open a lot of Simic in this pack, so I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for some Simic stuff, I'm not going to lie. Behind the Krasis, another Gruul Guildgate. That feels bad as well, because we only get a certain number of those, and so far, both of them, or 2 out of the 3, I guess, that we've opened, have not been super helpful for us. So this is the Gruul Guildgate and an Illusion token. I love this Illusion token so much. Those little guys are adorable. It is time to give away this code. If you get it, feel free to sound off in the comments so that people aren't going and logging into their account and wasting their time. But whoever gets this code, please enjoy it. Please enjoy your draft. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you stick around for the rest of the video and you weren't just here for this, but whatever, right? We're putting this out there and that is your choice to do with it how you please. So please enjoy that code. We move on to our next pack with Ravnica on it, / just the, Azorius front. Here is a card that could go in our deck that we haven't seen yet. It is the Impassioned Orator. Very nice. And it says when a creature enters the battlefield, not when you cast it. So those afterlife tokens, this would count. You would gain life off of those. The flyers coming in. Another Humongulus, not bad. A Gravelhide Goblin. Again, not for us, and especially without that activated ability. Noxious Grudian, though, I said I'd play as many as I got, and here it is. A Sylvan Brush Strider, not a bad green card. Deface, still bad. We saw another Wrecking Beast. We saw Skitter Eel, like this is somewhat familiar to us at this point. Scuttle Gator, my goodness. Applied Biomancy, yeah, this is like the exact same pack we just opened. I mean, if it's another Hydroid Krasis, I definitely won't complain, and then we could just go into Simic, but, oh, wow. Even the uncommons are the same? What the hell? That is weird. Archway Angel. Okay, this one's different. My goodness. Silhana Wayfinder. I don't even like this card, to be honest. It's just different than the other pack. That's why I said wow, because, my God, they were exactly the same. And a Macabre Mockery, which, once again, if we're splashing, I still don't know. I mean, the card's fine, right? It's not a thing where it's like, oh my God, we open this, we have to be in Rakdos. Like, that's the Hydroid Krasis for Simic. But anyway, and our rare or mythic in this pack is a Priest of Forgotten Gods. I don't know. I don't think this card's good at all. It's in our colors, so I'll at least look at it a little bit more, but I don't know. I'm not super high on it, to be honest with you. We have an Azorius Guildgate. That could help us splash if we're trying to splash into those colors. And a Centaur token. This is, I don't know that I've seen this token yet. That is really cool. Anyway, 2 more packs left. Rakdos on the front of this one. Let's see what is on the inside of this one. We start, speaking of Rakdos, with a Scorchmark. Nice card. I would put this in if we splashed red. A Hazda Officer. This card is fine as well for our deck. A Persistent Petitioners. We've opened no others, and we're not anywhere near blue, although maybe if we go Simic, but then this card doesn't come in. But if we're going Simic, this could come in. Steeple Creeper's a fine card. It's not great, but it's fine. You could give it flying if we're in both of the colors, which would be nice. Undercity's Embrace, I still like it. I don't know that I'd play more than like 3 or 2, but this is only our second, so that's fine. Titanic Brawl is a very good fight card in green. Keeping my eye on Simic colored cards. Like this Growth Spiral. I mean, these packs are 100% pointing us in that direction at this point, which is, I don't know, you could call it fortunate, you could call it unfortunate. Exposed to Daylight, not that great of a card. I mean, it's sideboard at best. A Grotesque Demise again. Probably another one that I wouldn't play more than 3 of. But there you go. A Sphinx's Insight. So this is a cool card for Azorius. A Screaming Shield. I love the art. I don't love the card. We're not really in a mill strategy. Although if you are, this is a great card for it. You get to pump your creature's defense to continue to block better on the ground while also, and or in the sky, I guess, while also then being able to mill repeatedly. So yeah, it's a fine card if you're in that strategy, which I don't want to be so far. But if we're in Simic, my God, Galloping Lizrog is a great choice. I like this card quite a bit. And a Cry of the Carnarium. So here is something actually for Orzhov. What a surprise. I would play this absolutely. This card's great. And our rare or mythic is a Gutter Bones. I do not hate this card. Again, I don't think it's incredible, but I like it. I actually really dig the art on this guy a lot as well. But yeah, more things for Orzhov, which is completely fine with me. Behind it, an Azorius Guildgate. So again, another opportunity if we wanted to splash some blue. And a Spirit Token, which we will need if we have Afterlife creatures. Now, I think we're being taunted here by Vanifer, where she's like, hey, you have a decision to make. Do you want to go with the kit that you opened, or do you want to go with the other mythic that you opened in Hydroid Krasis and try to go Simic, because 2 of your packs were like super heavy Simic? And we start with a Knight of Sorrows as if it is an attempt to answer our question, but I will be honest, I don't love this card. It's fine, but I don't love it. We have a Coral Commando, Gravelhide Goblin again, Thirsting Shade again, still don't like this, Gruul Locket, a Wrecking Beast again, that's 2 of these, a Senate Courier, which you don't need the white ability, so if we went into Simic, this would 100% go in, because it's a great card. Scuttlegator again, that's our 3rd Scuttlegator. They are expensive, so I wouldn't play all 3. A Senate Griffin, this can go into our Orzhov deck, or our Simic deck, to be honest, because you can have double white or double blue and play this card. A Senate Guild Mage. This kit is all over the place. I'm glad I didn't open this at pre-release. I would have wanted that Gruul kit from last week for pre-release, but my God. Anyway, Senate Guild Mage, great card, is our first uncommon. Smelt Ward Ignis, I think this card is fine. I haven't gotten a chance to use it yet, so if it's insane, that's why I haven't said that it's insane. And a Swirling Torrent, this card is also insane. Yeah, wow. We have some tough choices to make, and by we, I mean I do. And then you guys can tell me how wrong I am in the comments afterwards. But our last rare or mythic before that is a Gruul Spellbreaker. Yeah, this kit's all over the place. I like this card. I think it's great. I don't think it's better than Seraph of the Scales or Hydroid Krasis, but it's a good card. We have a foil uncommon, and one that we've already gotten in Macabre Mockery. It's a really sweet foiling pattern. I wasn't super high on the first one. I don't know that the second one makes me jump for joy, although it is very pretty, which is not nothing for a deck that we're not actually playing in an event with. So there's that. Behind the Macabre Mockery, a Simic Guildgate. Well, we got one, I guess. And a Goblin Token. Guys, I got some tough choices to make, and I will be right back with those decisions. Okay, so here is the deck that I came up with, notably not Simic. And I'll tell you why in a minute, but here is the deck. I think our curve is actually really good on this one. That becomes pertinent when you look at the Simic cards as well. But we've got good 1-drops in Gutter Bones and Resolute Watchdog. We've got a bunch of good 2-drops. Our removal is mostly in 3 and the Orzhov Locket, but we've got an Undercity's Embrace, Grotesque Demise, and Cry of the Carnarium there. We've got this combat trick in Arrester's Zeal, and I'll ask you guys about that in a second. We've got these 2 Noxious Grudians, which I love. We've got the Seraph, obviously. Like, our 4-drop creatures, and really just that means our 4-drop slot, because we have no spells at 4, are great. Undercity Scavenger, I love. Syndicate Messenger is a great flyer. Civic Stalwart can pump all these lower guys and make them swing in, and for most of them, we don't care if they die. and the Senate Griffin with flying and scrying. That seems great. And I put in both Archway Angels, despite the fact that, as you can see, I have one gate. So I did it anyway, like I said, 6 mana, 3/4 flyers. I don't hate playing them, so I decided to put them in. I mean, you know, obviously Seraph of the Scales here as a 4/3 laughs at, you know, for 4, laughs at these 6 drops, but, you know, and if we gain 2 life, great, we gain 2 life. Otherwise, we have 3/4 flyers that are nice bodies to have on the board. And the question that I wanted to ask, at least with the Arrester's Zeal, is do I play the Arrester's Zeal, or, because I ended up cutting these second copies of the Grotesque Demise and the Undercity's Embrace. And I did that because I felt like it was a little redundant at 3. And so I ended up putting this combat trick in there just because we had nothing instant speed combat-wise. And I do tend to use, like, with some of the addendum cards, like Sphinx's Insight, for example, I'm more than happy to get its addendum ability and use it during my main phase. This one, more often than not, does not get used on my main phase unless I know that giving it flying matters, like +2/+2 and flying, like on this Undercity Scavenger, for example, so that then it's a 7/7 flyer and it can swing in. But otherwise, like, just having this as a +2/+2 combat trick that could save, like, my Seraph of the Scales or something, that's more important to me typically. So let me know what you think about playing the Arrester's Zeal versus 2 more 3-mana removal. And just so that you're not thinking that I'm crazy for not playing Simic, because I got this Hydroid Krasis, let me show you my creatures in Simic. We had 4 drops in Skitter Eel. We had 5 drops in Mammoth Spider, Galloping Lizrog, and double Humungulus. We had 6 drops in Scuttlegator, and Scuttlegator. And we had 7 drops in Wrecking Beast, and Wrecking Beast. So even though we opened that rare Incubation Druid, looking through it, it was really not possible to play our Simic just because our creatures, like, at least here, like I said, notice how good this curve looks. It did not look good in Simic. It was just very creature, like, very top heavy, I should say, and not a lot of stuff low drops, even spells. I mean, we had like those applied biomancies, but not really much else going on at the low end of things. And so even though Sealed is a slower format, I don't think it's that slow. And I think we would have been very much on the back foot by that point. So this is the deck that I came up with. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Well, we've been trying to get these videos out to you guys a little bit faster because we know that the drafts are ending on MTG Arena soon. If you tried to use that code and it didn't work out for you, 1, maybe somebody else already took it, but 2, also realize that you can only use 1 code per account, at least from what Wizards has told us. So if you've already used one of those codes from maybe going to your own pre-release, or if you've watched another one of these videos and taken a code, that may be why. I apologize that I forgot to mention that up at the top, or when I revealed the code to all of you. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Please check out some of the other videos on our channel. Helps us out quite a bit, and hopefully it's something fun for all of you. Some entertainment. From the Geek for All YouTube channel, I have been Joe, and as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.